First tonight, the family of a woman who was murdered by her work colleague have described him as a monster who ripped their lives apart. Ross McCullum strangled Megan Newborough at the house where he lived with his parents at Colville in Leicestershire. They'd just begun a relationship when he killed her. He then dumped her body in undergrowth near Woodhouse Eaves. Today, the lab technician was jailed for life with a minimum term of 23 years. His victim's sister told him she hoped that Megan would haunt him forever. In a moment, we'll be hearing from Megan's family. But first, our social affairs correspondent Jeremy Ball reports from Leicester Crown Court.
A hugely emotional end to a really distressing case today as Megan's family stood up to read their victim impact statements in court, and I saw McCullum bow his head as Megan's sister Claire turned to him to address him directly. She said, "You're the very definition of a monster. Cruel, frightening, evil." She described what happened as barbaric with one truly horrific detail. The family's convinced that McCullum tried to decapitate her sister. And Claire also said that now, well over a year on, Megan's shoes are still by the front door because her mother simply can't bear to move them. Afterwards, their brother read this statement outside the court.
"It's not a day that goes by where we aren't expecting her to walk back through the front door. We're a very close family, of which Megan was the glue that held us together. Our lives have been torn apart through this loss. I know how difficult it's been for my parents and sister to sit at court every day, listening to the web of lies spun by someone Megan not only knew, but whom she trusted, someone who clearly had no love for her at all. We're the ones now serving a life sentence. No amount of time in prison can bring Megan back. We have to carry on with our lives as best as we can, but Megan will never leave our thoughts. Meg was an exceptional person through and through. She was and is loved by all who knew her and was nothing but pleasant to those she came into contact with. She had a whole life ahead of her. She was about to buy her first home and was excited for everything she had coming up. She was so eager to start the rest of her life, she ended up losing the one she was living."
And we heard another victim impact statement from Megan's father, Anthony, who described feeling guilty for not protecting her. Megan was our princess, he said. She shone like a bright star. Our hearts exploded into little pieces, he said, and our lives were shattered beyond repair. The family's also been talking about how much Megan meant to them.
She was like a magnet. Everybody was drawn to her. Just such a lovely, deeply caring, loving, open person, full of integrity, honesty. Lovely inside and out. She loved her dancing. One of the pictures you've got is with Claire.
She had the most distinct laugh you'd ever hear. It was loud, it was piercing, it was joyous. She wanted to go out that night. And that's the hardest thing about it, is because she would have gone no matter what.
We'd walk the dogs, we'd had meals together as a family. And she said she was leaving at 7:30 and having the conversation. I said, "Be safe, you know." She said, "I'll see you soon." So we thought she said, "For 2 hours," and yeah, we never saw her again.
I'd asked her about him and she'd said he was a gentleman, he was an introvert, very quiet.
We believe, though, if certain information had come out before about Ross's behaviour, if she had known about it, she definitely would not have gone.
Nobody can believe it happened to her. Numb at the moment.
I suppose we are out here as well, yeah. Yeah. Some taking a little precious life. We'll never get my daughter back, will we? So we've got the life sentence, haven't we? So we've got to live with it every day. You know, as I say, we've got still things in the house of hers, still furniture, all the shoes, the clothes. Shoes are still in the porchway where she left them. Her dog as well. We're looking after. So yeah, we've got reminders of it every day. So I suppose we've got to somehow move forward and try and live Megan's legacy.
Live life, enjoy it to the fullest, but in the safest way you can, and don't let it happen to anybody else.
Not ruin another family as it's ruined ours.
Don't forget Megan.
Yeah, don't forget Megan. Try and keep her alive by using her name, you know. She lives within all of us a bit.
Please keep her alive. Please.
That's Megan's sister, Claire. And as the life sentence was handed down today, Megan's family hugged and wept, and Judge Philip Head told Ross McCullum, "The dam of your rage burst." He said McCullum knew exactly what he was doing. Megan struggled for several minutes, and he described a series of deceits: cleaning up, dumping Megan's body, what the judge described as callously caring messages, and a falsely affectionate voicemail to cover his tracks. And McCullum has still never fully explained what the judge described as a truly dreadful crime.